Okay, so let's draw a graph here with the points 2, 1, and didn't label it, but it looks like 3, 4. Oh, I didn't label it for a reason, but whatever. I'm going to call it 3, 4. So we're now going to learn a new formula. We've learned standard, ax plus by equals c, and slope-intercept, y equals mx plus b, and a new formula called slope point form in the title, and I'm going to write it down anyways. Y minus y1 equals m open bracket x minus x1. And for all the nerds out there, imagine moving the brackets on the right-hand side below the left-hand side. That looks pretty much like slope, doesn't it? Okay. So we have the point 2, 1. I'm going to cross out the point 3, 4. We could use it, but let's not. So above the point 2, 1, I'm going to say x1, y1. Then I'm going to count the slope. So we go up 3 over 1. So we know that the slope, m, is 3. I'm going to put it below, even though I did some of this stuff off to the right. Either way, off to the right, I wrote down the formula again. Now I'm going to substitute into that formula. So we have y. The next thing in the formula is a minus. y1, looking off to the left, circle in blue, is 1. So we can say y minus 1 equals m. We just figured out to be 3 over 1. And it's going to be x minus x1, circled in purple off to the left. x1 is 2. So we can put a 2 below the x1. Circle your answer. This is in slope point form. Whatever. They might ask you for slope point form. They might give you slope slope form, and you have to find it. You may have to convert back and forth between different forms, and there's certain forms that you can going back and forth to. Make sure you know which ones. We never have to convert to this one. And we can convert this one to the other two. We can convert the other two, whichever. Okay, so let's take a look at another example. So down below, let's draw a graph. We have the point -1, -2. And we have the point 1, -3. We're not using it, so I'm not going to use it. So let's write down the formula. Y minus y1 equals m open bracket x minus x1. Whoops, forgot to put a box around my formulas that I use, so they're easily to see on the page, and eventually we don't need to keep doing them. Either way, near the point, way off to the left, -1, -2, I'm going to write x1, y1 above or below it. And keep in mind, it wouldn't have mattered if you used the other point. It's all the same. Multiple answers for these. Either way, substituting the formula, y minus, y1 is negative. I'm going to carefully substitute. I'm going to circle y1 above in the formula. I'm going to circle y1 off to the left. The negative sign was between. Then I substituted carefully for -1, and I don't recognize the pattern till after. Okay, m, what's m? Let's count the slope. So it's down 1 over 2, and it's down to the left, and we know that down to the right, and we know that down to the right is negative. So the slope, substituting into the formula on the right, is negative down 1 over 2, -1 over 2. Open bracket, x minus the thing in the formula directly above. Now, in red, x1. Well, x1, oh my gosh, I put, see how easy it is to make those mistakes. You should be looking at this and going, Nick, what did you do halfway through? In purple, I accidentally put, I'm going to erase it, -1 for the x value that was off to the right. But I was supposed to put the y value. See how easy that is to make that mistake? So I have to put -2 in for the y value. Now, properly looking at the x value is -1, substituting with brackets. So usually you're not going to have that purple line there. That was the mistake. I'm going to circle the mistake in purple and go, that was the mistake. Make sure that that is -2. So easy to make those mistakes. Okay, so now those usually aren't there, but we have two negatives side by side. So 2 negative side, make it positive. If you want to skip that step, be careful. Equals negative 1 over 2, open bracket, 2 negative side by side, same plus, plus 1. If they were different signs, they would be different minus. And furthermore, another example down below. Notice the point is always exactly opposite of what's inside the bracket. So if I put brackets around the left-hand side to make that look a little bit easier, I have 2 sets of brackets. And if I compare it to this point off the left, what's inside the brackets is opposite to the point. But I never try and think that way. I always just think, oh, substitute with brackets. Then 2 sides side by side. Be very careful. So that's slope point form. Now we're going to figure out how to find an equation.